Just a pencil and a dream.
Hello, 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 everyone.
Hello.
Oh no, that's hold on, I'm adjusting the audio because I think that came in pretty loud. As you all know, our mic situation is pretty delicate, so if anything happens again, sound off in the chat. I'll be able to fix it.
Echo should be gone.
Echo should be gone. Echo should be gone.
Echo should be gone. We're not on a video.
Echo is gone now. Okay. Well, with that all said and done, how about now?
Hello?
Yeah, there we go.
I think that should be working.
That should be
There we
working
go.
now. Please, in the chat, if it's working, say so. Yes, yes, yay,
There
yes,
we go.
yay, okay.
Alright.
Alright, well, with that being said, nobody touched the mic. Hello!
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the film. If you haven't already seen it, is it linked in the live stream?
You bet your ass it is.
It should be linked in the live stream description.
Yes, you can watch it whenever the frick you want. And, oh my god, we forgot to put the stickers on our shop.
Oh. Well,
Oh, yeah?
We'll do that by the end of the day.
Surprise! We will have stickers available.
Of Eft, primarily, and also another one of the little message that's at the end of the film.
Yes, and we'll put that on our shop probably just after this live stream. And they're very cute. They are in a box in our storage room, which is just where the laundry is.
I can go grab them.
You can go grab it, but don't touch the mic. Can we watch it together? I didn't know it just came out. It just happened.
We did just watch it together, but if you didn't, that's okay. It's linked. You can watch it right now. It's a short film. That was Reid's thesis film.
Oh, the Sweden guy's back.
Sweden guy's back. Hi, Sweden guy.
Sweden! Well, his name is Gandalf174.
Gender neutral.
Yes.
Hello.
Gandalf, gender
So,
neutral.
We've got the stickers.
Careful
so
with the mic.
one of them is this one of Elle
Ball.
being very silly.
Effed ball OC.
F ball
And
OC.
We've got this, just like F head
F head.
being also silly. And we've got this one's a small one, and it's like a little complicated because there's so many of them there. But it says things will get better.
Things will get better.
Cause things will get better.
Yeah. That's transgender moment. And by the way, comma, bless you, if you happen to be in the Los Angeles area the weekend of October 25th through 27th, we will be selling those stickers and many more merch items at Lightbox Expo, booth, is it 1203?
1203.
1203. All 3 days. At least one of us will be at the booth pretty much the whole weekend, selling our wares.
Yeah. We may it may be like one or two of us missing at any given time, so that we can just wander the convention center.
Yeah, so we can eat,
Stretch
and
our legs,
use the bathroom, and talk to other people. But we'll be there. It'll be super, super fun. We're very excited. Last time we were at Lightbox, so many people recognized us, it caught us very much off guard.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. And for those of you who can't come, we will still be releasing this extra merch that we're having on our store. And we will be making a little vlog video of our time at Lightbox, so you can see all the cool things that you won't be there for.
Well, who says there's FOMO when we will include our viewers to the best of our video editing ability?
Yeah, the only stuff that we are going to be selling that's really exclusive is old excess merch from the crowdfund, and also there's a couple Lightbox specific shirts.
Yeah, but
Shirts
that's
and prints.
it. Shirts and
That's
prints. That's it. Most of the merch is stuff that you guys can get on flimpo.co/shop whenever you freaking want. YouTube just gave me an ad. Oh, I think the mid-roll ad settings on here are just whatever, man.
Oh.
If that happens, was Jamie trans?
Yes.
Reid, are you
Jamie-
trans?
I have some news. This is my coming out video. No.
No.
Yeah, Jamie is definitely very based on myself as a child, in some ways, and down to the outfit that Jamie wears as a child is an outfit that I had as a child. I have pictures of myself wearing. But yeah, I wanted Jamie to be a trans character that it's just Jamie's just trans. It's not explicitly stated or really explicitly acknowledged, but it's that's an important part of his character.
Yeah. Before we post a video mentioning out loud that this is a transgender film on our social media, and people are like, Studio Flimpo went woke.
How long did it take to make that animation? It took a year, basically. I actually was... so this was my thesis film. I actually changed my thesis pitch twice. During my senior year at SVA. I actually switched to Jamie's Pond, I think, in early October of the semester. So it was good ways into the semester. So I had to kind of speed run the early pre-production stuff.
For comparison, by early October, if you had not changed your idea since the beginning, you were supposed to have basically a complete animatic ready to go into animation. It's almost.
Yeah. And I had I did reuse some elements that I had designed for my previous idea, but I did have to largely start from scratch. But it was fine because it was a lot simpler than my original idea, so it was easier.
Lot simpler.
So it was a lot easier to get all of that work done.
As an example, Reid's original idea featured characters, and if any of you are in animation, you'll know how batshit this is. But it featured characters with vines, with flowers growing on their body,
like wrapping around
their arms. And there was a scene in a cafeteria with a moving camera with many other people.
Yeah.
That also had, like, some of them also had the various, like, wrapped around the vines things.
Yeah, that would have been really hard, and also the subject matter was, like, it was kind of, like, a lot of it was sad. So
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if this is going to be something that I want to be working on for a full year.
Yeah.
So I switched to this.
Good move.
I like this comment. Others coming out of the closet, Reid coming out of the pond.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Sonica. Sonica asks, what types of salamanders did you use as their design?
So Eft is based off of the Eastern Newt, and his name Eft is Eft, E-F-T, because that is actually what the juvenile form of a Eastern Newt looks like, or is called. Like, that's the orange one.
Why he orange?
Yeah, so like salamander, specifically Eastern Newts, actually go through that metamorphosis as like from juvenile to adulthood. And I was like, oh, that would be really fun. That's like one, I always have really loved newts because I grew up in like their natural range, and they look really cool. But it would just match very well with like the transition and change, like, or with Jamie's transition. Like, both of them have changed, but like hasn't changed anything about who they are, like their friendship and who they are.
Just notice all y'all wear glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My eyesight's really, really bad.
My eyesight's not as bad as Ren's, but it's still getting worse. Shout out to staying indoors more often and leading to short-sightedness.
Is there anything you wanted to add to the story that didn't make the cut?
Ooh, good question.
There was like some alternate endings. One like mainly being that like a camp counselor would come and like retrieve Jamie essentially, because like Jamie's like run off into the woods to be alone from the camp. And there was also like there was an alternate sadder ending where Jamie comes back and like lifts up a rock and like finds like a newt and it's like, oh look, see, it's Eft. But and it was like an imagination thing, and then maybe like Eft would actually be real, but like it's just kind of been like discounted in Jamie's head as like part of his imagination growing up. But no, I decided that I just wanted it to be like they reunite, they are friends.
Also, Heavenly Plays says, I not remember if you guys remember me super chatting and saying you guys were a big inspo to getting into animation school, but started classes last month and working on my my first short film at the moment.
Yay!
Wow,
Congratulations!
Good luck.
That's
Yay!
really cool. Good luck with everything. Stay strong, get enough sleep.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
Do your wrist exercises. That's
Yes.
super cool.
And I really like that we were able to release the Everything Is Okay show and Jamie's Pond onto the channel, because short films are a surprisingly not as present thing in the indie animation space, despite being a lot easier to make on a smaller scale. And if you are an aspiring indie animator and you're like, I want to make a big series and have it be multiple episodes, make a 3-minute short film that's really nice to watch on its own. That sounds like it's a small project. It won't be. How long it took a year to make Jamie's Pond. It took a year to make the Everything's Okay show. It'll take longer than that to make Mandelbrot Hall's pilot episode.
Yeah.
We were working right up to the deadline on our thesis films. That being said, we were also working on like college classwork in other classes at the same time, which was fun.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that it's out in the world and people know who Eft is, and they can watch it and feel good about themselves. And hopefully you guys can make a short film soon because hopefully, if everything goes well, we'll be able to make a sort of tutorial series that sort of guides you along your first ever short film. I think that'll be a very fun idea. I'm super excited to get that off the ground if we have the time.
How long have y'all been doing animation? So it's sort of tricky to say. For me, I only started actually like learning animation formally when I started college, which was 2019. I had done like Flipnote Studio DS animation before that.
The real ones, no.
And I'd done like an animatic on some now defunct program that was free that I don't even remember the name of.
Inchworm?
No.
No. The one that's like pencil or something?
I don't know.
Even crazier than that.
I think I started doing it like proper 2D animation like in my junior year of high school. Very intermittently. I was still doing mostly like illustration stuff, like character design, and like maybe like one completed animatic, but I didn't really complete any like full like animated short until my like roughly like the summer before my like first year at SVA.
That's right. And it was wasn't it an Adventure Zone?
Yeah, it was an Adventure Zone thing, and I animated it all in Photoshop, which was really interesting. That was the only software I had.
Yeah, you were working with what you got.
I could have done animate, but I don't like animate. I don't really like the way that the brushes look. So.
Would you guys be accepting other members anytime in the future? I'm an animation student, so I'm looking into future career possibilities. I mean, it really depends on who we're able to afford to pay. But we're probably going to remain at least a very small studio just because it seems to be the easiest to manage. And, you know, indie animation isn't exactly the most profitable venture, and we don't want to exploit people. Payment-wise.
Yeah, we want to make sure everyone's paid fairly.
Yeah. If, you know, we get a lot bigger and are able to pay more people to help on our thing, then yeah, sure. Yeah. But we're not counting on it.
Yeah. Right now we just are doing enough to like keep ourselves going. So we don't want to like bring anyone on that we can't like compensate.
Unfortunately, there have been a few indie studios in the past that have done that move too early, and it's sort of stretched them too thin, too fast. So we don't want to do that.
Winient says, going to send my warm words, and it went away because you guys were talking for too long.
Oh no.
Can you please scroll up? I wanted to read that.
Yes.
It looked like a nice message.
Yes. Sorry about that.
You guys inspire me to keep going with my dream of making shows despite having no chance to get to animation school. Look, animation school is not necessary. Just keep following that dream.
Yeah. Also, you'd be surprised the kind of people that get into animation school.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean like
it's one way or the other. You're in a good spot.
Yeah, I mean animation school for us was like great and can be really useful for certain people, but there's plenty of people in the industry and people who create who are self-taught or go find other resources. So I'm really glad that you are interested in the field anyway, and best of luck with everything.
You have to remember that like animation as a college major and a career that was like formally pursued before entering the industry is a relatively new phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Chuck Jones didn't major in animation.
Yeah.
He was just
a
like
lot
a
of people
dude that
at most were like majoring in just art generally.
Yeah. And some didn't even do that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, a lot of artists didn't go to college.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Just keep making stuff. That's the more important part.
In a few years' time, will you guys own an office? Maybe.
That would be really cool.
We were actually talking about this the other day, being like, oh, it would be cool to like own like a office space so that we wouldn't have to like work out of our house, and if we did bring on other people, then we wouldn't have to like, you know,
bring them into our
house or, you know, something like that. But again, especially office space where we live is pretty expensive. But it's doable, but it's again, we want to keep our sights on what we can do right now, and not scale too fast.
Can we see Kitty?
Kitty's sleeping, but maybe pick her up. Oh, she's...
Meow.
Careful of the mic.
Oh, careful where I'm stepping.
Yeah.
Hi,
Baby!
Baby. Oh.
Oh, Aquinu asks, as an indie... Well, Aquinu's on our Discord server, but Aquinu asks, as an indie animation studio, how do you get followers and get seen on social media? You have to get good at getting people's attention and editing really fast. Trying to
get her to meow into the mic. Hi. Hello.
It's also a lot of luck, but getting people's attention really fast helps. What's each of your strengths and weaknesses when it comes to animation? My strength is background design and compositing, and I've been getting better at writing recently, but my weaknesses come with like character design, and recently color. I don't know why. Color's been a lot more challenging for me recently, but I think that's just because I'm out of practice.
I'm sort of inverse to Milo. I feel that my strengths are with like color and storyboarding, and to an extent writing. But I do not like doing background design. I'm alright doing paint and layout. I don't really enjoy coming up with a lot of small details. I can maybe do it, but it is pretty hard for me. And as much as animating itself is cool, I probably like it a little less than these two.
Oh yeah, I do like animating.
Yeah.
I just haven't done it in forever, because when you're a small studio, you do everything but animate.
Yeah. Animating is probably one of the big things. Like, animating and character design are, like, my two big things that I, like, really am drawn to. Also coloring. I really enjoy color design as well. Backgrounds, I like natural backgrounds. I'm not as big a fan of like drawing like more technical stuff.
Like buildings and interiors.
Which is why I did Jamie's pond in the woods.
He's just outside. Have you guys done cell animation? If you're talking about just animation like drawing it frame by frame, that's the kind of animation we do.
No, I think they mean like proper like on cells.
We've done it on paper, but not on cells like plastic cells.
Yeah, so we've done pencil tests, which are just like animating on paper, and we learned how to animate that way. I don't think any of us have ever like painted on cells.
No, but I'd love to.
Yeah.
I think that would be a very cool thing to do, like to get like a very small amount of cells, paint some inked like cells just as like a color design reference. Mm-hmm. That might be a fun idea.
Plingus, if I made a skibbity toilet Weiss, would it be allowed on the fan art wall?
I like the phrasing, would it be allowed?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, it would. I think as long as it's not like super vulgar and offensive, we'll put it on the fan art wall. And Skibbity Toilet, while strange and fascinating in many ways, is not necessarily vulgar and offensive. So, yeah. I think it would be allowed. When you was like, Plingus, no!
What shows, movies, media are some of your guys' inspirations? I'll answer this specifically for Mandelbrot Hall because it kind of varies depending on the project you're working on. There are some like through lines that are great for everything, but for Mandelbrot Hall, for like a lot of the character art and like line quality, there's like Misaki Yuasa's work and Ian J. Q's OKKO. In terms of vibes, I love to play horror games, so there's Silent Hill 2, and Little Nightmares and Inside. There's for movies, things like House.
1977.
Yeah.
That House, not House MD, the TV show.
No. House MD, the TV show, is a little different.
I'm sure it's good. I haven't seen it though. But
it's fascinating.
It is. I had never played or watched Silent Hill 2 prior to our friend Sam started playing it and then like on a Discord call would stream it, and then we would watch. Ren's already played it before, but Reid and I had not seen it before, and I can say the Mandelbrot vibes are very clear.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. But like I was like, okay, I sort of get where the vibes came from. Hello, Ponderers. Oh, Tim. Hello, Tim.
Hello, Tim.
This is our friend Tim, a little cartoon dog in his own right. Actually, his animated short film, Garage Sale, will be premiering in, about an hour and a half on his channel?
Yeah,
very
today.
soon.
So
Please.
if you want to see more cool short films,
Yeah.
go see Tim's.
Yeah,
It's very cool.
I've seen working cuts of it. I did like a couple of rough keyframes on one shot, and then Flimpo got really big, and I had to pivot to that. So I have seen the working cut. It's a wonderful project. There's so many people on it. It is just packed with vibes. So please go watch it when it comes out in a little bit.
Your favorite animation studios and why?
Let's see. This question changes.
Okay. I mean, for me, it's just like, especially right now, like Cartoon Saloon and Ghibli are like constant, because they are just like they're like the current ones that actually do 2D animation, like hand drawn animation
in a really really cool way
and look gorgeous. But also like been a lot of great stuff coming out of Sony and coming out of DreamWorks.
We saw The Wild Robot.
Yeah, The Wild Robot's great.
The Wild Robot's great. If you can see it in a theater near you, go see it at the theater near you, because it unfortunately might be the last animated film that DreamWorks animates in-house at their Glendale studio, and it's kind of considered a send-off. It's great. Go see it if you can. Let's see. OMG, thank you for the shout out. If y'all like Flimpo films, my short has some awesome Milo DNA. Just a smidge.
A little bit of Milo
Just a little
DNA.
bit. Just a little bit. But it's in there. Let's see. Which character's backstory is going to be the most dramatic? For Mandelbrot? 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 I don't know if we can say that.
Well, you'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Is it worth watching in IMAX? I think so.
Yeah,
It's a very...
Probably.
It's visually like very, very pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's worth watching in IMAX. It is what Sonica said.
Oh, it's worth watching.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. Okay, I totally agree. Yeah. It was so wonderful. I'm about to get wild. Oh, that's the wild Plingus.
No.
That's the wild Plingus.
Animation studios. Science Saru is
I was gonna say
really fun.
that might be my pick right now, honestly.
Yeah.
Although I really do love Ghibli and Cartoon Saloon. They're definitely up there. But like, man, Science Saru is really killing it right now.
Yeah.
Like, I know obviously Anyang Choi and Abel Gangora, who have been doing a lot of directorial work for their recent projects, like the Dandadan opening and the anime itself, but also the Scott Pilgrim anime, like, really killing it. Just lots of wacky visuals, and of course Masaki Uasa is just like
Yeah.
a whole other level. So I think I might have to steal your answer. I think Science Saru might be my favorite as well.
Have you heard of Look Back? I really want to see it. So, I haven't read the short manga it's based on. I've read part 1 of Chainsaw Man in full. I haven't read part 2 yet. But I really like Fujimoto's writing and visual style, so I've heard Look Back is really good, and I am excited to see it.
Yeah, and as someone who has read Look Back and absolutely loved it, and people are saying it's as good, if not even better, than the comic, the manga it's based on. I'm super excited to see it. Hopefully we'll get to see it soon. Oh, so Heavenly Plays asks opinion on 3D and stop motion animation. Incredible.
Yeah.
Never worked on them.
No,
but
It's
Besides, like,
so
like,
out of our range.
very small, like, tiny hobby projects that these two have done.
Mhm.
I haven't even touched it. No, but it's incredible.
Yeah.
I especially love stop motion.
Stop motion is so great. We've got our friends at Apartment D, who are incredible stop motion indie animators. Please go check them out. Rough Danger Dogs, their new series. I think episode 1's going to be dropping very soon.
So much respect for having the patience to do that.
Honestly, Digital Circus, the 3D animation coming out of that studio is just incredible. Like, Kevin Tremor, the animation director for them, has such a, like, cartoonish... It's almost like Gendy-ish, like, the way they move. It's not, like, as pose strong. It's more, like, going for, like, constant movement. Mm-hmm. But, like, that sort of stuff is really incredible. Again, I've only dabbled in either one. Very, very little things. But huge appreciation for all sorts of animation. Mm-hmm. But that's for them to do.
Yeah. And also loving the blend of like 2D and 3D and just experimentation in 3D that has been like cropping up over the last few years. Like, very refreshing to see that.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't finished the 11th season of Jet Lag. We've been busy recently. But I do love a good episode of Jet Lag. I think Sam, Ben, and Adam are just the funniest trio. I love how stressful and sweaty they get on the European train railway network. Like, in the middle of, like, I don't know, Slovenia. And they're like, I need to get a bag of chips with cheese powder in it, or else I lose $10,000. It's like such a good show.
Sonica said, highly recommend you read some of Fujimoto's work. His writing is fantastic and his visuals have so much filmic language to it. You might as well think of them as storyboards. I absolutely agree.
Same.
I really adore Chainsaw Man. And like some of the panels in there, and I think the ones I'm thinking of are probably what a lot of other people think of.
Yeah.
Are like some of my all-time favorites in comics. They are really incredible.
Shout out to the folks at Mappa that have also done a pretty decent job, I think, at least in the first couple episodes of Chainsaw Man. I honestly haven't watched past that. Like, doing their very best to translate it into animation. Because Fujimoto is like, it's storyboards and so filmic, but it also embraces the medium of manga so well.
Yeah, I haven't watched the anime, I've only read it, but I've heard good things.
Yes.
Someone probably asked this earlier, but where did you guys get the idea for the fish person and stuff?
Oh, Eft?
So Eft is based on the Eastern Newt. I kind of based Eft off of in the Spiderwick Chronicles, which is like a very
a series tailor-made for Reid.
It
as
is.
a kid.
I grew up reading that, or I really loved that as a kid. And in the sequel series, like Beyond the Spiderwick Chronicles, which take place in Florida, there's like a naiad. They introduced naiads, and their design was like kind of based off of like a frog, like a frog person sort of thing. And I was like, oh, it would be really cool to do that with like a newt, because I like really like newts, and
they're just neat.
I think they're very neat.
Yes.
So yeah, I think like Spiderwick Chronicles, or just the Spiderwick Field Guide, if you can see the designs for like the naiad in that, was where I was like, oh, I'm gonna do like a naiad, and I just wanted to do like a fantasy thing.
Yeah. You wanted to draw a little guy.
I wanted to draw a little guy.
I feel like making your thesis film is always more fun if you have a little guy. Because you can, if people are like, draw your thesis character, you can draw him so small.
Spiderwick Chronicles in general, like the field guide, even if you haven't read the books, looking at the field guide illustrations are like so gorgeous. They're like ink and gouache paintings, and they're like kind of modeled off of like old like scientific illustration of like animals and stuff, and the creature designs are incredible. That's a big inspiration for me.
Absolutely. I think my version of that is just like the Voynich manuscript, where it's just like a book of some guy completely made it up and wrote a whole language, and there's like anatomic illustrations of like things that aren't real, and I'm just like, this was
catalogs of fictional catalogs. The SCP
the SCP Foundation. I love catalogs of fictional phenomena as if they are real.
That's why I'm going to buy one of you home safety hotlines so you can read about the Fae.
You described that game to me in the car, and I was like, oh, that actually sounds very fun. And I can't wait to integrate these elements of fantasy and horror into our own projects. Let's just say Mandelbrot Hall.
Plingus has been talking about the IKEA bee. I actually haven't seen the IKEA bee.
Yeah, we're like behind on trends.
I have the IKEA
plushes.
I have the IKEA bear, which I got several years ago, and it's not sold in the United States, so it actually came from a guy in...
He had to get a Skog Schiller or whatever.
I need to look up IKEA
It came
bee.
from a guy in England who would purchase them in bulk and then sell them online to Americans. And that's how I got my IKEA bear.
Oh, have you guys seen the teaser trailer for Gentry Chow versus the Underworld?
I haven't.
I haven't. I've only seen little clips and rumblings about it. The IKEA bee. That's a lovely bee. But I follow, because it's Titmouse, I follow a bunch of people that worked on it, and they're like, you guys aren't ready. You guys are not ready. It's apparently was a blast to work on. So I'm excited to see it, if it's as good as they say it is. I'm like,
I when I was interning, there were some people that were on that project.
Oh, wow.
Some interns that were on there.
Oh yeah, you're wearing your Titmouse shirt.
Yeah.
Very loosely related, but speaking of upcoming animation things looking forward to, Over the Garden Wall has... they're doing like a little short collaboration
with Aardman.
That's gonna be like so nice.
I cannot wait to see that. I don't know.
No matter how small it is, I don't care. It's gonna be so cool.
I wonder how they're gonna do, if Greg is gonna have any voice lines, because that was 10 years ago they made the show, and he was just a little kid. Now he's like a dude.
Yeah.
So, are they gonna get a new kid, or are they gonna get like? Are they going to be grown up? I will cry if that's what it is. If it's them 10 years later, I will literally cry.
Yeah. Elijah Wood sounds the same.
Yeah, Elijah Wood sounds the same. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to see that.
Do you have any advice for up-and-coming animation students or beginning animators? Draw people a lot from life. Regardless of what you're animating, unless you're like purely in experimental and effects...
good luck with that, by the way.
You will be animating characters that either are people or behave like people. So you want to have a very strong foundation of real people first, before you like hop it directly into stylizing. So you don't have to like animate someone doing like a realistic walk cycle. That's not what I mean. I mean, take your sketchbook and go to a park or a cafe or on the bus.
Or a car wash, honestly. People stand around all the time there.
Yeah, and just like draw people over and over again. If you have the means to do a figure drawing class, do that. Getting a really strong foundation in life and gesture drawing will just make your animation better.
Try to be like very loose with it and like kind of just get the forms and general like movement of of different poses rather than like the real like fine details or any of like the shading and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we say it a lot, but like take care of your body. You need your body to animate, and if your body is not being taken care of, if you're just giving it garbage and not moving it and not stretching, you will fall apart and then you can't animate anything, which is sad. So eat regularly, exercise, sleep, take care of yourself because you deserve it, and also you are a machine that turns your like ideas into cartoons.
Also just watch like media, like watch films and like shows,
and
like
not only animated stuff.
Not just animated stuff, like also live action, because it's like it's a lot of live action film, like even that has like storyboard, like some use storyboards as well. You will get a better sense for like writing and camera, you like using your camera and like shot composition and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really important that you like actually consume other media, because otherwise it's like you're not really going to have like as much of a foundation to kind of understand like how everything works.
It's also like you can tell. This is not a bash to things like Steven Universe or The Owl House, because they're great shows with great people behind them. But they were made because the people that made them took so many other things that inspired them, whether it was comics or movies, live action or animation or TV shows or games, and they put them all into one new thing. And if you just, like, there are a lot of times where I see something and I'm like, that looks cool, but that person only watches The Owl House, and I can tell a little bit. And it's fine. You can totally love that show or any other show or one singular thing that inspires you a lot. But, you know, those shows were made from a broad range of inspirations.
Try to draw from a lot of different places, otherwise you'll end up just kind of like repeating things that have already been done.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the things that you're already watching.
Sonica has some great advice too, I've read. I also recommend looking up drawing drills and using those as warm-ups. Drawing circles, lines, and dots also helps in building your control with your drawing medium. I've been doing a bunch of those and I can literally see the difference in my work.
You're absolutely right.
Totally.
The first page in Glenn Vilpu's drawing manual is literally just like, you gotta learn how to draw circles, and not just draw circles, draw them the right way, with your whole arm, with a big page, and do like 5 pages of that before you even think about drawing anything else. And then you are like, finally, I've drawn my 5 pages of circles. I wonder what I can finally draw next. And the next page is like lines. And I'm like, but it works. My line confidence is so much better now. Also, Sean really got me into this, and because a friend of ours, Sean, his sketchbook is just like a 99-cent composition notebook and a Sharpie. He only draws in Sharpie. No pencil, no eraser, nothing. He just draws it.
There was also Bob Camp advice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Bob Camp, he used like pencils sometimes too, but
yeah, but he was always like, use like a big bulky marker.
Bob Camp was very much like, use cheap notebooks and cheap supplies, or else you'll feel too precious about it. And Sean, and also to an extent M. Zulo and a couple of friends of ours and Bob Camp were also like, use big bulky markers, because you don't feel pressured to go back and erase things. You'll be confident with your line.
Should you hone your skills in one particular area or try to strengthen them in multiple different things? Should I be a jack of all trades or master of one?
Good question.
So if you're just starting out, you should explore. You don't need to, like, from the get-go, pick, like, I'm going to be a storyboard artist, I'm only going to do this to be a great storyboard artist, because you might turn out to hate storyboarding.
Yeah.
I will say that it's a bit of a fine line once you get further into it, because you will need to eventually really hone your skills in 1 or 2 specific things if you're planning to do it as a career. But I will say that starting out, it does not hurt to explore. Find out what you like doing the most, and then eventually maybe pick and choose where you really want to, like, punch up your portfolio really good. And in that case, it's usually better to be a master of 1 or 2 than jack of all trades, but it's not to say you can't do that.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that recruiters generally remember you better and have a more favorable view of your work when you say, like, oh, I do this one thing.
Yeah.
Like, I do background design. And they're like, great. And then when they're looking for a background design position, they know who you are, they remember you better, and also if that's the one thing you do, then you have a stronger portfolio of it.
Yeah, you'll have a more focused portfolio.
Yeah.
And usually when I say like 2 things, it's usually things that are related. So it's like I do key animation and cleanup animation.
Yeah. Or background design and background paint or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. But again, don't let that mindset of like, I need to get a job stop you from exploring, because you need to know what you like in the first place in order to focus on something.
Have you guys heard of Geometry Dash?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Sorry, I just, Adrian asked that comment. I mean, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I haven't played it. It's more of
Really?
like I mean, I don't know. I played like a rip-off version of it once when I was like in middle school. And I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah, I played it in middle school.
I was more of a Night in the Woods.
Not much, but
I was more of a Night in the Woods, Undertale sort of video games player.
well, that's like a mobile game.
A mobile game, yeah. Did you
Mobile
know Night
games
in the
are
Woods
different.
is on mobile now?
Really?
Yeah, I
That
know.
makes sense. It's like a walking simulator.
It is, but you know, it's good.
Hello, greetings from Argentina. Awesome short film. Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, Argentina.
Hello, where are you guys watching this from? I always like asking that question. Has any one of you done internships for animation?
I'm wearing a Titmouse internship shirt right now.
What are some ways you got the internship, or what tips/advice would you give to those looking to get an internship?
You gotta be like, you have to try to focus like your portfolio on like some like really good examples. Don't have too many things in your portfolio, and make sure that they are kind of looking more towards like studio oriented. So if it's like if you're doing character design, like have like character sheets rather than just like individual like single character drawings. Like have a page of drawings, things like that. Also helps to know people that are like working there currently. If they can give like a recommendation for you, that's always going to help. Obviously, that's not like necessary or anything.
Yeah.
But that'll always help. Just talking to people in the industry and asking them about like who are like in like the area that you are interested in, like kind of exploring exactly how you want to have your portfolio for that. It's very similar to just like applying for jobs, honestly.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I see a good question from Danta. I saw a post from Scott Christian Sava, love him, about, it got cut off, but it was about, does tracing count as studying? Because if you copy from things, it's a good way to learn. I think you can study from tracing, but I would recommend against it because just like looking at something and trying to copy it is a far better way to learn how to have line confidence and build the forms on your own than tracing it. Tracing is still an option. I know lots of artists that started by, or Domix started by tracing Pokemon.
It also depends on
Yeah.
the way that you're tracing, I think, because like if you take a character, for example, and you're not just like tracing the outline of them, but you are basically like figuring out the forms inside of a character that already exists,
Yeah.
that can be super helpful. But like Milo said, I think it's generally better in the long run for your brain to like look at something and then copy it.
Yeah, it trains the muscles that will be more useful to you the further down the line you are as an artist.
Yeah, but it can be a useful tool. I know people who,
Yeah.
benefit from that.
But that's to say that tracing someone else's art and then
Posting
it
Yeah,
and then
that's
sending
a
it to your
different
own
thing.
art.
That's different.
That's different. That's
We're talking specifically as a learning tool, like
Yeah.
for your own devices, not to pass it off as your own
Yeah,
work.
in
Yeah.
your like, if it's like a thing that you're just doing in your sketchbook to kind of learn, then that's like totally fine. If it's like a step in the process of you kind of like figuring out how to draw something to like understand shapes, like we were saying before, like that's one thing. It's a completely different thing to just like straight up trace over someone else's art and like post that, like the exact lines. If you're like like using like a pose reference like that. Some people can be iffy about that. I don't think that's as big of a deal.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like straight up like you're just tracing the lines of that they did. If you're kind of like doing the same form and like shape like pose, then that's like, I think that's okay.
Yeah. It's also easier to trace well once you already have a better understanding of form and anatomy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, don't pass off people's work as your own. But if you learn the way, you learn best.
Can you scroll up? There were a bunch of people saying where they're from, which is very cool.
Yes.
We had Toronto, America, Philly, Portugal,
Canada, British
Czechia,
Columbia.
British Columbia.
England.
I saw Czechia.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And someone said upstate New York, which is funny because that's where Reid's from.
Oh, someone said, I just watched Jamie's Pond. What a cute short. I especially loved the little slideshow at the end that showed the support F gave Jamie, and when they were growing up, it made me tear up a little.
Aww.
Yeah, I'm glad. That was like a little addition that I didn't have in my original release of it that I was like, I really wanted to do when I was working on it and got to add for this release.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and someone else watching from Trinidad and Tobago. Awesome.
Wow. Hello.
So many people in the neighborhood. I hope they're very good people. Wee. Sorry. That was a Ween reference for the 4 of you that listen to Ween.
Someone earlier asked if I'm looking forward to the 3rd Little Nightmares game coming out. Yes, absolutely.
I didn't even know there was a 3rd Little Nightmares game coming out. That's splendid. I'm so excited. How powerful are you guys in the power scale? We are about...
I can't disclose that.
Yeah. Conventional power scales don't exactly apply here. It's, well, I've already said too much. Can y'all beat Gojo? Gojo these nuts. That was so... Can we just actually high five for... Okay, there we go. I feel so sweaty after that. Nah, I'd win. Well, it's 11:57. I think we will wrap up our stream by the top of the hour. So this is your last call for questions. We'll try and lightning round as many of them as we freaking can. So quick! Hurry! Now! Also, we are streaming earlier than we usually do in the day, just because it's our friend Sunny's birthday, and we're gonna go celebrate our friend's birthday. And Maisie has one leg hanging off the chair that she's sleeping on.
She's like going like this right now.
It would be funny to have, in the future, a separate Maisie cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, for whatever she's doing. Have everyone type happy birthday, friend.
Ah, yes.
What bread are you making next, Milo? Oh, I don't know because I have to go and visit family tomorrow, and then I'll be back, and then we're going to Lightbox. So I don't know if I'll have time to make bread soon, but probably like an artisan loaf. Love that. Love to do that.
Space Explorer, I have not heard of Reanimal. I'll check it out. That sounds very cool because I love Inside, I love Limbo, I love Little Nightmares 1 and 2. So I'm always excited for more in that genre.
Yes.
Hardest part of animation, in your opinion?
Hardest part or worst part? Because cleanup is the worst.
Yeah,
But it's not necessarily difficult.
Hardest is like whenever you have to animate something that is like a trick or something like that, where it's like not like it's a reaction.
Yeah, it's very hard to get good reference for that.
Make it look natural.
Most of the time, here's a secret with animation: most actions you can perform and then reference.
Yeah.
Doing something like intentionally tripping is almost impossible.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Or intentionally hitting your head, which we learned from the Mandelbrot Hall trailer.
Or showing someone like trying to regain their balance.
Oh man.
Which is something I did in Jamie's Pond, and that one was a tricky shot.
I think I saw it earlier. Oh yeah, there it is. Danta asked, does Ren have a short film of their own?
So I do. I haven't decided if I'm going to release it yet, because it's kind of a personal film, and I will see.
Yeah, it's totally up to Ren. I can say that it is quite good, but I also fully understand if Ren doesn't want to release it publicly. 'Cause, yeah. But maybe it'll be lost media. Whoa! There's clips of it in our trailer, like our last year's
there's
reel.
pieces of it.
There's
out
bits
there.
and pieces out there. But, yeah. Who has the biggest forehead?
I always have bangs because I have a pretty big forehead.
Who has the biggest forehead? I think we all have big foreheads. Do I win?
It might be Milo.
I think I do. That's where I keep my brain.
We're past 2 p.m., so we're probably
past 2
gonna
p.m.
wrap up now. Thank you everyone for coming, for watching Reid's film.
Thank you all so much. And let's, some point today, or maybe just this weekend, we will get the Jamie's Pond stickers up on flimpo.co/shop so you guys can have your very own little guy to have in your home.
We can end off also with the...
Oh yeah! Reid made a...
F
Watch out for the
sculpture.
mic again.
What is the lesson we learned today? Being soggy makes you friends.
Yes, so true. You can find your local little guy at your local little pond.
Little ceramic eft that I made.
Such a little guy. I didn't even watch the film, but thanks.
It's-
And you can watch it on our channel. The link is in the description, and also it's just on our channel now. So if you want to watch it, if you missed the premiere, you can head on back. A little guy in your hands.
Refuses to focus.
Refuses to. I don't even think it autofocuses.
No.
Well.
Alright, bye everyone.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a
Bye-bye.
lovely day. And
Bye-bye.
go watch Garage Sale by Tim in about an hour.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.